cherry pick projects from all around the world, which have been cherry picked because we've got very strong data and intelligence that these projects are onto something pretty exciting. There are lots of signals on the demand side that we are already able to confirm that, okay, these projects are really going to go places. Projects that are still open for financing, they may have been greenlit, but there is still some room for new financiers to sort of, have either equity participation or debt. None of our members have to travel to markets and festivals to get this list and essentially are able to sort of dial into this list. We are using a lot of our intel and signals to actually sort of cherry pick projects and get it to you in the confines of your offices and homes. We're doing this almost like a virtual festival list. We took lots of signals on the demand side, and that's how we've actually created this list. So it's completely data driven and intelligence filtered. 29 curated projects across a raft of different categories.
Large entities like big studios, Disney, Sony's, Comcast, Lionsgates of the world, overall the money's coming or commissioning that was happening from those entities has gone down.
So the traditional financiers and commissioners are financing less projects. How do you have more projects going through or to the finish line in spite of the traditional support structures for financing actually going through a dip?
Yeah.
The same report will actually, and the reasons will actually be available for all our paid members, for download. Let's actually sort of now get to the main attraction of today. We are presenting Vitrina's hot list. So this is the June hot list, which is typically the first 6 months of 2026. And what we are doing is we are essentially all the recommendations that we do to streamers and distributors, a host of our clients, we are now serving it as Vitrina hot list. So it's completely data driven and intelligence filtered. So let's actually now look at how many projects are we going to showcase today. So 29 curated projects across a raft of different categories, correct?
A raft of categories, right? So animation, obviously features, series. We've done a mix, English and non-English. And formats are hot, right? They're always hot, but right now they're super hot. So we picked the ones, the legacy ones that are just getting adapted, right? Still sort of, making their way into new regions, and then brand new ones. Towards the end of it, what we explained about Concierge, we have a host of projects that we are representing where we are helping producers do the matches. So we've picked up quite a few of those to talk about. Again, they're open for investing.
What is the key criteria for matchmaking and how is the IP getting protected? The key aspect is that matchmaking can happen on very little data or a lot of information that you share about the project, right? There is flexibility upon that. It really depends on the comfort of the producer or the IP owner in terms of how much they want to share.
So when you enter information in Vitrina, it lives inside Wiki, right? It's not going to go out. It's not going to get projected. When matches comes through, you know exactly who they are, right? So you're not sort of reaching out to other set of producers who might get ideas, right? So you'll have a list, you know exactly who these individuals are. And then comms, you have a way to really talk about it. Hey, there's a interesting project with young adults, right? Or you could just talk about your project and IP, whatever you're comfortable with. Exactly the same thing. You go to an event and talk about your project to an executive. So yeah, no different than that.
Understood. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's actually sort of now get to. So before we actually start showing you all the 29 projects that we've shortlisted, that really should, those projects you should really look very carefully because they're very strong on different dimensions. We wanted to share one particular data point, and it's a very powerful data point. And I think there is a myth busting that we are able to do now with hard data.